Hello, John Hively today, May 23rd, 2025. Oligarch news. Now look, right now, the politicians of both the Democratic and Republican parties are waging class warfare against you. And they're doing it on behalf of the billionaires. So, how am I going to show this to you? Well, let's take a look at the Republican Party bill, the big, beautiful bill of Donald Trump that's moving right through, just passed through the House earlier today or yesterday. And today, the Senate's taking up debate on it, and they're probably going to make some changes. But that bill includes a massive tax cut for the billionaires of both major political parties. And I believe there are more billionaires who are supporters of the Democratic Party than there are billionaires who are supporters of the Republican Party. So here we go. Let's take a look at that big, beautiful bill. So this is from ABC News, and it says right here, and this is the Senate. The U.S. Senate is now considering that big, beautiful bill. Chief among the issues GOP senators have raised about the bill is that it adds trillions of dollars to the national debt. The House bill is going to add about $4 trillion to the debt ceiling. The Senate bill adds $5 trillion. There's nothing fiscally conservative about expanding the debt ceiling more than we've ever done it before, Republican Senator Rand Paul said Thursday. Then he said, "This will be the greatest increase in the debt ceiling ever, and the GOP owns this now. The deficit this year will be $2.2 trillion. The GOP owns that now, too." So there you have it. Deficit hawks in the Republican Party do not exist any more than those of the Democratic Party when those folks are in charge. Enriching the billionaires is the only thing that matters, and it's at your expense. As I pointed out in a previous video, that interest rates are rising because Moody's just recently, as of May 16th, last Friday, Moody's devalued the U.S. credit rating from AAA to AA1. So that sent interest rates rising, and guess who's those interest rates for the U.S. debt, as I pointed out, are tied to consumer debt. So you're paying for that $5 trillion tax cut for the billionaires, and it's a $5 trillion tax cut over the next 10 years that you're paying for with higher interest rates. So it's actually an income redistribution scam. So let's take a look at something that you have in common. Say you, if you're a supporter of the Democratic Party or a supporter of the Republican Party, but you work for a living. Or maybe you're retired on a fixed income, or for whatever reason. Say you're not a billionaire, or you're not worth $100 million or even $50 million. What do you have in common with each other? Well, I'm going to show you what you have in common. But first, let me mention something. The Social Security Trust Fund has about, I think it's $2.7 trillion in it. And it's due to run out. As the baby boomers retire, more and more payments will be made. Now, by 2034, that trust fund is allegedly going to be gone. But there are enough working people that on average, 79% of payments will still be made to Social Security recipients. That means Social Security recipients are going to take a 21% decline in their earnings from Social Security. Now think about this. How far has democracy gone? It's been gone for a long, long time. It was started to go in 1976, but it still existed to some degree. Republicans and Democrats, politicians, even the wealthy, were worried about what would happen to Social Security if it disappeared, or if you had to take a pay cut, you working folks, when you retired. So in 1983, President Reagan, Republican President Reagan, put together a group of guys. They came up with a formula, And in 1986, that formula was enacted into law and produced the $2.7 trillion that now sits in the Social Security Trust Fund. But you don't see a single politician right now saying, we should do something about the trust fund. It's going to run out of money, right? You don't see any of that. All you see is, we've got to give the billionaires a $5 trillion tax cut. That's it. Oh, and we're going to add a little tax cut, temporary tax cut to tips for waitresses. Temporary. But that's not hardly much of a $5 trillion tax cut, because the $5 trillion tax cut is for billionaires of both major political parties. So what do you folks think about Social Security and what should be done with it? Well, I'm going to tell you, because polls have been taken. Let me show you. Now look, the university, this is what you folks think, if you're working folks. The University of Maryland's Program for Public Consultation, PPC, surveyed 2,549 people in 2022 about possible changes to Social Security in the face of, say, in 2034, the trust fund runs out of money. 77% of Republicans and 86% of Democrats supported Social Security taxing incomes of $400,000 and more. Doing this would eliminate 61% of the expected shortfall. Currently, if you're only taxed on your Social Security income up to $168,000. After that, you're free. You don't have to pay Social Security tax. 70% of Republicans and 78% of Democrats also favored raising the payroll tax rate from 6.2 to 6.5%. The study concluded this would eliminate 16% of the expected shortfall. Listen to this. This is overwhelming amounts of Republicans and overwhelming amounts of Democrats agreeing with each other. 75% of Republicans and 76% of Democrats want to gradually raise the retirement age from 67 to 68 years. Most of these respondents may not have known that the average life expectancy in the United States has fallen over the last 10 years, thanks in large measure to Supreme Court make-believe that has overturned legal precedents and turned the United States into an oligarchy. Nonetheless, the study concluded 14% of the shortfall would be covered by doing this. Listen to this, overwhelming amounts of Republican voters and Democratic voters agreeing. And there's a ton of issues you all agree on. 78% of Republicans and 86% of Democrats favored reducing benefits for high-income earners, like billionaires. Doing this would eliminate 11% of the shortage. Doing all of the above would cover the expected shortfall in 2034, and not a single recipient would need to take a cut in benefits. But instead, the Republicans right now want to give billionaire Democrats and billionaire Republicans a $5 trillion tax cut rather than stop you from taking a massive cut in your benefits. So there you have it. The billionaires slice and dice you to fight each other over petty issues like urinals and bathrooms and wars over Christmas and stuff like that. So they've got you divided, fighting each other when you should be fighting them because you have so much you agree on. And we're going to cover a lot more that you agree on as well. You Democrats and you Republicans. So I also have a way to fight back against the oligarchs who run this country, and that's oligarchs who control both major political parties. So I'll start to unveil it, hopefully by this summer. I'm working on the foundations as I speak, almost as I speak. Obviously, I'm not working on it right now because I'm doing this video. Anyway, you guys have a good day, a good night, and please if you like this broadcast, and this is my cat Veblen, he's evil. Okay, he's not really evil, but he needs attention. He needs freaking attention all the time. Okay. Anyway, I have to give this guy some attention. He's older than dirt. And We'll talk to you later. But if you liked what I'm saying, please like, subscribe, and share. Anyway, let's get a movement going. Let's get it going against the oligarchs. Okay, have a good one. Bye.